A Nike employee or a former Nike employee who is making the rounds with a video that is now circulating the internet talking about the situation involving Nike, Caitlin Clark, the slow play that they're doing, even doing so much to show how their stock is falling off the shelf. And let's talk about this video. You may have seen it by now. I'm going to show it to you again, but it's a former 15-year employee at Nike in the women's division, and
Caitlin Clark just shook the game, set shockwaves through the sneaker world, and might have made Nike break a sweat under its iconic swoosh. In a power move that had LeBron double-checking his deal, Adidas pulled off a headline-making coup. But Caitlin didn't just respond. She detonated a statement that left fans reeling. Social media's in meltdown mode, sneakerheads are rethinking everything, and the industry's balance just shifted. What did she say? Why is Nike on edge? And did Adidas just pull off the sneaker steal of the century? Strap in. This ride gets wild.
Big game for Caitlin, her returning to her alumni in Iowa and her hitting that massive logo 3, the logo 3 during the game that some of her sponsors would want to show her support on social media, do any sort of marketing to uplift her and uplift their brand. And one who did do that was Gatorade. They tweeted a photo of her and they said, "Real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark." Now, one of her lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was Nike. And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this? Yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a huge day for Caitlin. She's returning to her.
Caitlin Clark isn't just dishing dimes on the court. She just served Nike a legal level assist of receipts, and she didn't even break a sweat. That iconic swoosh. Right now, it's looking more like a checkmark for broken promises than a badge of athletic greatness. Word is, Nike fumbled hard, breaking terms they wrote, then vanishing like a ghosted date with a fear of commitment. Yes, the brand that practically invented the sports endorsement game is now out here, leaving its brightest rising star on read.
Nike, we need to talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's you and me talk about Caitlin Clark since you refuse to talk about Caitlin Clark. And I care deeply about you. I spent over a decade in your marketing organization. I spent several years trying to get into your organization. And it's been 3 years since I left your company. I'm just here as a friend. I care about you. I want to show you two different charts here. One, your stock price since 2021. It is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over.
Let's cut to the chase. Caitlin Clark is the name in women's basketball right now, and Nike fumbled the bag like it was Game 7. You don't lowball a once-in-a-generation talent like she's some end-of-season markdown, especially while hyping up every other player like they're the next Jordan. And you definitely don't do it when Adidas is flexing hard, throwing stacks like dumbbells, and looking ready to bench press the entire women's sports market with a smile.
How in the world is Nike not going full-on Caitlin Clark phenomenon? You've got the most popular women's athlete in the world. Do they still not have a Caitlin Clark shoe out? My mind is blown by this. The minute that she started playing in the WNBA, you should have rolled out for every little girl in America the Caitlin Clark ones. And that should have been the baddest ass women's tennis shoe that has ever.
And Adidas? They're not just watching from the sidelines. They're moving like a panther in a room full of laser pointers. The moment Caitlin's camp so much as raised an eyebrow at Nike, Adidas pulled up like, "We brought signature colorways, a blank check of respect, and a full brand vision with your name on it." They didn't just send flowers. They delivered an entire sneaker bouquet wrapped in custom branding, backed by a dream team of marketers ready to turn Caitlin into the Taylor Swift of sports, with a gym full of Swifties wearing her kicks.
A lot of conversation has been made around Caitlin Clark, her signature shoe, the Nike deal, and with how much Nike has been dragging their behind, how much Nike has been moseying to the finish line when it comes to pushing the Caitlin Clark button. Fans started speculating maybe this deal isn't as official as we thought it was. We get no signature shoe, no news of a shoe all season long. We get no merchandise all season long. We get no commercial all.
Caitlin Clark didn't just walk away from Nike. She dropped them like a bad prom haircut. She's not just a star, she is the moment. And if Nike can't see that, hand it a mirror and a jump shot goodnight. If she signs with Adidas, her shoe line won't just sell, it'll dominate. We're talking Clark ones flying off shelves, kids reselling them on StockX, grandmas camping outside Foot Locker like it's Jordan Mania all over again. Nike messed up. They treated the league's future like a footnote. Instead of building her empire, they handed her a lukewarm deal with the energy of a maybe or SBP. And fans noticed. Social media exploded, NBA players weighed in, and sports insiders started spilling tea. Oh, and that Angel Reese promo. One awkward photo that looked straight out of a 2010 reality show reunion. Come on.
Caitlin Clark's Nike deal might be the worst endorsement deal in the history of professional sports. You guys remember this billboard that was put up in Iowa? Well, that's one of the last times that Nike has done anything for Caitlin Clark. They promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that also included her own signature shoe. Which honestly, looking at it now, $28 million for 8 years is an absolute steal for this superstar. When a player like Wemby's Nike deal was rumored to be over $100 million. Caitlin has not only had an incredible rookie season, but she has also transformed the WNBA.
Look, no shade to Angel Reese. She deserves the spotlight. But how did that become the defining image of your rookie class? Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham, who actually plays on the same team as Caitlin, is nowhere. She's putting up stats, hustling on both ends, and somehow got left off the promo train. Where's the Fever Trio? Caitlin, Elia, Sophie, fierce, focused, and lit like legends. Instead, we get one weirdly cropped photo of Angel that looks like a still from a WNBA reality show reunion. Sophie's grinding on the court and repping a team that's ground zero for this women's hoops movement, and she gets ghosted. That's not a miss, that's a full-on PR faceplant. Meanwhile, Adidas would have made her the face of a campaign, had her on billboards, throwing shoes into crowds like confetti. And the shoe war, it's just getting started. Adidas drops the Clark 1 Fire Edition, sells out in 4 minutes. Kids crying, grown men brawling over toddler sizes. That's real demand, and Nike fumbled it.
She feels as though that this Nike deal has been racially motivated. She believes that there is a disparity in how Nike is prioritizing and rewarding athletes like Caitlin Clark. And it's just, she's saying that athletes like Caitlin Clark are getting the better deals compared to other athletes, especially women of color. She additionally expressed her frustration through social media in her podcast, The Reese Life, suggesting that Nike was not treating all WNBA players.
Nike's calling Caitlin Clark's limited release exclusive, but let's be honest, it's just underwhelming. Grouping her into a generic campaign feels lazy, like they said, throw all the girlies in and call it a day. Fans noticed. They're heated. If Nike had a suggestion boxed, it'd be on fire. Caitlin isn't a bullet point. She's the whole presentation. She's filling arenas, breaking records, and doing it without Nike. Adidas? They give her a full line, maybe even a division. Clark Performance, anyone? Her fans would follow like she's parting sneaker aisles. Meanwhile, Nike's still playing catch-up while Caitlin rewrites what rookie stardom looks like effortlessly.
All season long, and it had people thinking to themselves, maybe this deal that we all thought was finished and signed and completed isn't as finished, signed, and completed as we thought, or maybe they're renegotiating. Maybe Caitlin Clark on her end pulled back the reins, said, whoa, let's revisit this clause that I said if this doesn't get done in this amount of time, we need to revisit that. People were even speculating that. But today was the Nike quarterly call.
This isn't just about sneakers. It's about respect. About not forcing the biggest name in women's basketball into a cookie-cutter campaign and hoping she stays quiet. Spoiler, she didn't. Neither did her fans. Nike didn't just fumble the legal contract. They broke the moral one. The one that says, you lift us, we lift you. Instead, they handed Caitlin a bland group deal like it was a signed napkin from a lunch meeting. She should strut into Adidas, sign the biggest women's endorsement deal ever, and let her first sneaker leave a swoosh-shaped scorch mark on the industry. Then Nike, in peak irony, announces a shoe for A'ja Wilson. She deserves it, but the timing? Brutal.
Nike has been having one horrible week in the media, bro. And what's crazy is that everything started off great. They put out a wonderful Super Bowl commercial. Everybody was for Nike. You want to know what Nike did? Shot themselves in their own foot, man. Everybody's weighing in on this situation. We know they put out the wonderful Caitlin Clark commercial over the last weekend in the Super Bowl. Then the very next day, they messed up, put out another commercial. Didn't even mention Caitlin Clark's name at all. And then just yesterday, they re-edited the damn commercial and did a voiceover over it. Like, my goodness. If I was Nike, I'd just be quiet right now.
So, where's Caitlin Clark's shoe? Probably collecting dust in a Nike folder from 2023. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is everywhere. Billboards, promos, interviews. Nike's pushing her like the league's future, while the actual rookie carrying the season gets ghosted. It's starting to feel less like marketing and more like a brand having an identity crisis. Caitlin's breaking records, sinking 30-footers, and moving culture. And Nike? They're handing the mic to players going viral for fits, not stats.
So let's talk about Caitlin Clark and Nike. All right, now I got to thinking about yesterday's event, and that's what it was. This was a sporting event we witnessed yesterday afternoon between the Fever and the Brazil national team. You want to know why Caitlin Clark games are different, haters? It's because her games are an actual event that appointment television.